Howdy, howdy. Welcome on in to the pre-show before the free show. Oh no. I like the sea turtle better.
Well, instead you have to look at my stupid face and our wonderful logo.
That's like a massive downgrade.
Hello, everybody. Welcome into the pre-show before the free show. I'm Greg. That's Ashley. This is episode 16-something or other.
1621.
That sounds right.
It is right.
You could just honestly lie to me, and I'd be like, yeah, sure, whatever. Although I am keeping track on the podcast feed. So yesterday we were sitting in the office doing work. I was working on getting stuff ready for photographers, which, by the way, photographers, go to texasfootball.com for all the information on how to become a photographer for Dave Campbell's Texas Football.
No one can understand what you're saying.
texasfootball.com.
Quiet and way too fast.
Pickle was working on graphics for Texas Football Tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Will was doing what Will does, and we had a bunch of our college friends out at the AAC Media Day, which I believe is still going on today.
No, Conference USA is today.
Conference USA today. AAC was yesterday.
I think the AAC is still technically going on, but they're at Conference USA today.
Got it. Okay, they're at Conference USA. So
it's all happening in Arlington.
Yeah, you
can really
all right
just
there.
Go get your little media heart taken care of in Arlington.
Go and do it. Isn't SEC coming to Arlington next year?
Yes.
Is that right?
Next year.
Okay.
Not this year. They already had theirs.
Yes. So we were sitting here, just minding our own business, doing work. I know it looks like this job is fun, but it's still work, guys. We're out here grinding. When I get an email, we just got a letter, to quote Blue's Clues.
We just got a letter. We just got a letter. I don't know the other words, but I know
wonder
that
who it's
part.
from.
We just got a letter. Oh,
I
I wonder who it's from.
Right,
Okay.
exactly.
I used to have this is a worthy side tangent, but I used to have a thinking chair. It was an inflatable thinking chair, and I had the
handy dandy notebook.
handy dandy notepad. Notebook. And yeah, I could write in it when I was doing it. It was awesome.
Anyway.
That's been a lot of years.
But now the new one, Blue's Clues and You, we just got an email because people don't send letters.
That's
anyway,
so dumb.
But Mailbox is still cooking. Just delivers emails. Anyway, and the email read, let me see if I can find the
Powers
headline.
sent airmail yesterday.
He sent airmail.
He made a paper airplane and threw it at Will's head.
The subject line. Congratulations to the 2023 Lone Star Sports nominees. Well, that's an interesting email. So I click on the link. And what it is, it's an email from the Lone Star Sports Emmys. And you scroll down, you scroll down, you scroll down. A number of our friends are nominated. Very good to see our friend Stupid Sexy Brian Ray is nominated. People like that. Our friend Jessica Armstrong, WTF's own, nominated. Aaron Hardigan is nominated. It's great. It's great. Scroll down to Sports Program Live. About to be better way to say that. Nominated Ford Championship Live, December 12th, 2022. Producer Brian Smith. Coordinating producer Greg Flick. Host Aaron Hardigan. Analyst Ken Purcell. Analyst Greg Tepper. Analyst Ashley Pickle. That's right. We are now Emmy-nominated Texas Football Today. Now, to be very clear, Texas Football Today is not nominated for an Emmy. That's not true.
No.
And that'll never happen.
No.
Probably because we're ineligible. Are we ineligible? I think we're ineligible. But both of the nerds who are on this show are up for a Lone Star Sports Emmy. Look at you, Emmy-nominated Ashley Pickle.
Yeah, how cool is that?
You are an Emmy nominee.
Yeah, that's really cool. I'm excited for everybody.
The ceremony is August 28th. Are you going to go?
I mean, yeah, I can.
You should. I've been. It's fun.
I mean, I've been to multiple Emmy things before, but I've worked them. I was the little person that walked out the award.
Uh-huh. Is that what you were going to say?
The Vanna White, if you will.
You were the Vanna White?
Yeah.
Well, now you get to go as a nominee.
I have been as a nominee before.
On the student side.
Yeah, on the student side. But it's the actual Emmys. Like the student productions are given out at the actual Emmys.
So there you go. Now we're up against, if you're interested. First of all, let me just start with this. We're not going to win.
No. Oh, there's no way.
Nah, we're not going to win. This is the type of thing that high school doesn't win, this type of thing. Because here's what we're up against. We're up against an Astros pregame show. We're up against Jamie Ben's 1000th game, which is Matt Schliftman, Stupid Sexy Brian Ray, and our friend Brent Severin. And we're also up against Rangers Live, Farewell to Tom Grieve, with Clark Rowe, Steve Buechele, John Radigan, Mark McLemore, Orlando Rojas, Ryan Vaughters. Oh, I don't want to lose to Vaughters. He's going to hold it up. He's going to hold it. He's going to absolutely roast us for it. Tom Grieve and Merrill Posey. Anyway, but it's fun to be nominated. Isn't that fun, Pickle?
Yeah.
Aren't you excited?
I am.
Aren't you going to put that on your Threads account?
Yeah, I don't have a Threads account. Nor would I put that on there, but no.
Aren't you going to put that on your Threads account? Won't that be fun?
No,
But
I think it's cool. It was cool to go through all the lists and see everybody, like, of
Mhm.
our fellow media friends that were nominated, too.
It is.
pretty cool.
It is very cool. So anyway, congratulations to Emmy nominee Ashley Pickle. It's true. I'm going to keep saying it. I'm
What?
only
Can
introducing
we
you that
not?
way now.
Please.
Hit the theme expo. Pickle! Hit the air sign. Yes, y'all. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Lewisville, Texas, it's Texas Football Today, a show that's just doing this again. We're still doing it. My name is Greg Tupper. I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football magazine, TexasFootball.com, a corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Whether you're watching us live, TexasFootball.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all the places, or listen to us on the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part. Support your local mediocre internet show. I am sitting in this chair, sitting over there in that chair, making us sound good. She's the Duchess of the Dorks, Miss 305. She's Ashley Pickle.
Howdy.
Hi, Ashley Pickle.
Hello.
Okie dokie. Today is Tuesday, July 25th, 2023. 121 days till Thanksgiving. We're getting close to, really need to start putting pen to paper here on Thanksgiving. 121 days.
Oh.
Feels like a time to do it.
Yeah, especially doing it before everyone gets boggled down with football.
Correct. Happy birthday to Hulk.
Joe Martin of TSSCA.
Oh.
It's his birthday.
He's
today.
like the coaching Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Brazilian soccer player Hulk.
Oh.
Giovanildo Vieira de Souza
Sound it out.
goes by Hulk. He rocks. Happy birthday to him and Joe Martin. It's episode 1621. On today's show, folks, we're going to celebrate Math Tuesday
Math Tuesday.
by talking about home field advantage in college football in Texas and why it may not lie where you think it lies. We're going to talk about that. And then back half of the show, down at THSCA Coaching School and Convention, where birthday boy Joe Martin was. It's his party, basically.
It really is, honestly, his party.
Him and Glenn West, kind of their party. We caught up with the head coach of the Georgetown Eagles, Coach Chuck Griffin. We'll hear what's cooking down there in Central Texas coming up here at the back half of the program. Do we have first four through the door?
We sure do. It was Andrew Christensen, Nick Morton, Zill0678, and Daniel Agnew. Welcome in, friends.
Howdy, friends. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us here on Texas Football Today, a program for you, the viewer. I don't know who else it would be for.
I don't know where you were going with that.
I don't know who else it would be for. Anyway, Pickle, the high school football season, actually football season writ large, is closing in on us with an incredible and an alarming rate of speed, which means we're running out of these. However, there's still plenty of time today to celebrate Math Tuesday.
Math Tuesday. Math Tuesday.
It's Math Tuesday here on Texas Football Today. What may be the last Math Tuesday? Because next Tuesday is August.
No.
Do you want to do one more next week?
Yes.
Okay, we'll do one more next week. Next week will be the last Math Tuesday. But on this episode of Math Tuesday...
I'd even think if I was going to be here on Tuesday, I will be here on Tuesday. I won't be here like the rest of the week.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk a little bit about home field advantage. Because over the course of the last couple of weeks, it's been media days, right? College football media days. SEC had media days. Big 12 had media days. Conference USA is going on right now. The American Athletic Conference is going on right now. Sun Belt happened on Thursday. Republic of Football will be live at Lone Star Conference media days, right? We're covering the globe. Corey Hogue was covering Southland Conference media days yesterday. I think it was virtual. Got a lot of media days going on. And there's a couple of things that media days come with. One, it's like football. It's people talking football, so it gets us all excited. But inevitably, you get people doing bits, right? Now, we're fans of bits around here. Perhaps you noticed. But one of the things that people like to ask is like do the quick fire questions, right? What's this? What's your favorite food? Where do you want to eat in your hometown? But one of the questions that we've heard a lot of, and I've heard other people mention this kind of as a kind of off the cuff, is about where the toughest places to play are in the conference. I remember somebody saying that about Texas Tech, about how it's low-key a very difficult place to play.
Especially at night.
We hear that all the time about Kansas State, how Kansas State can be a hornet's nest, how you don't want to go in there. Of course, there are places that are famously very difficult to play. Kyle Field at Texas A&M, very famously hard to play in, etc. But I thought, okay, as we near college football season, let's take a look at the actual numbers behind the home field advantage. Does playing at home, which teams are the best at playing at home? Now, you need a decent-sized sample for this type of thing, in my opinion. And so what I did was I took a look at the last 10 years, last decade. This is a big sample size. So we're talking about, like in the case of, for example, Baylor. Baylor's played 65 home games in the last 10 years, right? They average about 6.5 home games per year. So we're talking about between 60 and 70, let's say, home games. How well have these teams fared? One would think that if home field advantage was real, there would be teams that perform better at home than they do on the road, right? So we're going to look at this two different ways. First of all, we're just going to look at which teams won the most at home. Okay, plain and simple, which teams have the best winning percentage at home over the last 10 years. And I don't think this particular graphic is going to surprise many people, but the answer is Texas A&M. Texas A&M has been the best team at home over the past decade. Now, they've also been one of the best teams in Texas, period, over the last decade. But they have over 71% of their games they have won. Right behind them is Houston. Houston's won just 71.4% of their home games in that same span in the last 10 years. They're 40-16 at home. Baylor comes in next, also over 70%. They are 43-18 at home. TCU is next. Texas has a 650 winning percentage. North Texas at 64. Nearly 64.5%. Pretty good for North Texas. I would say that is a pretty defined home field advantage for them. Then you get under 60%, UTSA, SMU, Texas Tech at 55.7% of the games. And then you get teams that are below 500 at home, Rice, UTEP, and Texas State. Now, one of the things to keep an eye on here is that this is also more or less a pretty decent measurement of how these teams have been overall in the last 10 years.
Absolutely.
Right? A&M and Houston, basically, have been the winningest programs over the last 10 years.
Yes.
Baylor and TCU right next to them, right? Texas has been about
average,
about 650, right? Won about 65% of the games. This is a pretty decent measurement of just how these teams perform overall. So I'm not sure I would go on a limb and say, oh, Texas A&M has the best home field advantage in Texas, simply because they've won about 71% of their games overall.
Right.
Now, part of that is you hold serve at home, and I think that to a man, anyone in the SEC would say they don't enjoy going to play at Kyle Field.
Right.
Not particularly fun. But I think overall, when you take a look at this measuring stick, this is essentially a rank order of how well these teams have done overall, on average, over the last 10 years. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, no, absolutely, because you would have to take each of these teams individually and compare A&M to how many games have they won in total, how many of those were at home, how many of those were away. That's the only accurate reading on really home field advantage for each single one of these.
So I would say that this scans. I think that right now this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I think that A&M is a tough place to play. Also, A&M has probably been the best team in Texas over the last 10 years. Okay. And Texas State kind of the opposite.
Right.
So what I wanted to do is I wanted to do something a little bit different because I wanted to even the playing field a little bit. Because you know who the great arbiter of all things sports is, Pickle? It's Las Vegas. Because Vegas is in the business of being right. Vegas is in the business of trying to accurately predict how these teams are going to play. They set a line on the game, and they say, okay, how well do you perform against the line? So here's what I did. I took a look at these teams against the spread at home over the last 10 seasons. And this, I think, so basically, which of these teams exceeds expectations at home the most and the least? And I found this to be a particularly interesting little tidbit. Let's go to the graphic. It might surprise you to find that Baylor's on top. Baylor has a 583 winning percentage against the spread at home over the last 10 years. McLean Stadium has been where they have overachieved, according to Vegas, more than any other team. Next up is Texas Tech, who was bottom half on the previous graphic. And here's a remarkable thing. And this is maybe interesting only to me.
Okay.
Probably. Texas Tech against the spread, a .557 winning percentage over the last 10 years. Texas Tech overall at home, a .557 winning percentage.
Oh, wow.
They have been exactly the same against the spread and outright over the last 10 years.
That's, I mean, to the third decimal point, that's insane.
Weird, honestly. It's weird. Next up is North Texas. North Texas has won 53% of their games against the spread at home. SMU is next, followed by Rice. Rice was a team that was under 500 outright at home, but they win more than half their games against the spread at home. Texas, also above 500. They edge out A&M. A&M is actually below 500 against the spread over the last 10 years. Now, we'll finish this out, and then I'll have a couple takes on this. UTEP's next, Texas State. TCU, who was, I believe, fourth on the list on the previous graphic, they're next. UTSA, and then look at Houston.
That's crazy.
Houston was second, and I mean, decimal points away from being as outright at home as good as A&M, and yet they're dead last against the spread. That is a remarkable little bit of
so if you want to know what team to bet against when it comes to the spread, there you go.
Yeah, it is rather remarkable how that they have not been particularly good against the spread, but they do win at home, right? So here's my official opinion on this. And A&M's obviously really interesting in this because they're exceptional at home. They win 71% of their games at home, but they are under 500 against the spread. So
you almost think that
I
they
think
put
Vegas
that into
overstates the home field advantage at Kyle Field. Vegas overstates it. Now, I think it's probably well earned. I mean, in the end, the name of the game is winning ball games, not necessarily winning bets. But I think that is interesting that you have a couple teams that are flipped here. That Texas Tech, middle of the pack at home, but really good against the spread. North Texas, pretty consistently good at everything. Baylor's kind of that same way, right? Both really good, both at home, outright, and against the spread. You have a team like A&M, who's the best team against this, or at outright, but middle of the pack and even below average against the spread. And then you have a team like Houston and TCU, who are two of the best teams at home outright, but can't cover the spread. I think that's interesting that Vegas appears to overstate those home field advantages. Houston, TCU, and A&M. But wins are wins, and the name of the game is winning, and no teams have done better at winning at home in the last 10 years than Houston and A&M. However, if you're looking to place a bet on them, maybe consider the past 10 years and their history against the spread. Anyway, there's a look at home field advantage, both through the lens of who wins the stinking game, which is the name of the game, and who wins out in the desert.
Yeah, I guarantee you that even though Baylor was at the top of the beating the spread, they would do anything to be at the top of the we win at home the most.
Oh, absolutely. But Baylor, here's the thing about Baylor is that they've already got, they are third on that list, 70.5%.
Yeah, but any of those.
Absolutely.
I mean, Houston is much happier being up at the we win at home at this, at number 2 than so what, we don't beat the spread.
Absolutely. Anyway, there's a look at home field advantage in Texas. That's Math Tuesday.
Math Tuesday.
We're Texas Football Today. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Now, a word from these goods and services.
Born and bred in Texas hits a little different, as it should. Texas loves doing business with fellow Texans. VCR now takes its Texas roots as seriously as its many partnerships with schools and universities around the state. It's also why we're so proud to promote our brand in the pages of the Texas Bible, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and on the airwaves of Texas Football Today. Driven by producing quality broadcast video, state-of-the-art audio, and LED video scoreboards at affordable prices, VCR now makes sure to listen to your needs in its athletic department before recommending the next best steps. Building great products is our business, and it's our focus on building meaningful, long-term partnerships with our clients that sets us apart. From our 24/7, 365-day help desk, the training lab in our hometown of Red Oak, or our sports marketing business plan that puts money back in the hands of our athletic departments we support, VCR Now is built to last. Reach out to us today at info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW. Again, that's info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW.
While we were down at the THSCA Coaching School and Convention last week, we were there last week. This time last week we were there. Woo! We caught up with a number of coaches, one of them the head coach of the Georgetown Eagles, Coach Chuck Griffin, hoping to get the Eagles back to another state championship game. Here is Georgetown head coach Chuck Griffin here on Texas Football Today.
Matt Stepp, Dave Campbell's Texas Football back here at the 2023 Texas High School Coaches Association and Convention in beautiful Houston, Texas, here with the head coach of the Georgetown Eagles, Coach Chuck Griffin. Coach, I appreciate you taking a few minutes to chat with us.
Hey, thanks, Matt. Appreciate you.
It's like our yearly visit. We always try to do this every year at Coach's School, get the State of the Eagles address. Yeah. So let's start with your ball club heading into 2023. Tell us how the offseason went, spring, summer 7-on-7, all that good stuff. Did you guys, number one, did you get out of it healthy?
Yeah, we did. We got out of it healthy, and I feel good about where our kids are. We've got a couple of really, feature guys coming back, and feel pretty good about that. And we got some young guys that we got to go figure out still. We're working on some offensive linemen, trying to figure out, if you know where any are, I'll take them.
Okay. You and about 1,000 other coaches in Texas,
right?
No one's ever said they have too much depth in the offensive line.
Offensive line, for sure. So, but our kids have been working hard, man. We've had great participation all summer in our 7-on-7 and our Champions Camp every day. So, had a good spring football, so we're looking forward to it.
And when you look at your ball club heading in 2023, I think your district, first of all, is UIL did not do you guys any favors. They put you guys – it's a tough district, a lot of good football in that district. What do you guys have to do? What's the key in this district to being successful week in and week out? Because every week is a grind, right?
Yeah, every week is. I mean, there's no off weeks. And, I think this year we're going to be really good on the road. We play A&M Consolidated and College Station on the road, so that's going to be really big. We're going to play Cedar Park on the road. So we're going to have to be ready to play on the road, and that's going to be tough for us. And we were fortunate last year. We had a good split with those guys and a three-way tie for the district championship. But this year we want to try to go and win one outright, and we've got to do that with our kids playing really hard and doing what they're supposed to do.
There's no good way to break a three-way tie, is there?
Nope.
Somebody's going to be mad, and it's just unfortunate. It's just unfortunate, but they got to break it somehow. And it's just one of those things where everybody's got a good case, but they got to break it somehow. Is there do you have to have a different mentality when you go on the road, especially when you have to go out of town? Because, your kids probably have gone to Cedar Park and played. That's not that big of – it's a big deal. It's tough. Right. But going to College Station, that's an out-of-town trip for you guys.
It's a different deal for sure. I cut my teeth in West Texas, and that was
travel was no big deal
every week in and out.
And our road trip was down the street, right?
Yeah. But our kids have not really done that, so that will be something we'll have to work on mentally and get prepared for that. I heard Coach Lashley say something the other day. When you play on the road, you gotta be better than they are at home, but you also got to be better than their margin of error at home. Because of official calls and crowd noise and knowing the stadium, there's a certain margin of error that we've got to be better than them at to be able to beat them on the road.
Do you have a feel for what your team's strengths are going to be in 2023?
I think we got a chance to be pretty salty defensively. I feel good about our defense where we are. We're going to be really good at the quarterback position and the running back position. We got Andrew Petter back, who was a 2,600-yard running back last year, and we've got and we got Noah Boris back at quarterback, who came in when Tucker got injured, and we had he played 10 games. He threw for just under 3,000 yards and 36 touchdowns. So I feel pretty good at both those spots.
Okay, all right. And we talked about last year. I've not been to Georgetown to go to the place you recommended.
All right.
So do we have any new? Georgetown's a great food town.
It is a great food town.
I feel like if I lived in Georgetown, I'm a big guy. I might weigh 400.
Any night
tough.
You can go down on the square and find it somewhere really good to eat.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, the best thing going is still Blue Corn Harvest and the Creole ribeye.
Okay.
Good.
All right. And then one more thing. Coach McEachern from Pflugerville came by.
Yep.
He said, Georgetown. I covered a game in Georgetown. It was I think it was a state semifinal, Hallettsville and Llano.
Yeah.
And so Jonathan Brooks scored like 18 touchdowns that game. Yeah. He was a good player, wasn't he?
Good player.
And Coach Dean, your athletic director, hooked it up with the homemade street tacos and set the bar really high.
Yeah.
Now McEachern says that Pflugerville is going to beat it this year.
Yeah.
So you're going to send some trash talk his way and let him know that y'all aren't going down without a fight.
Absolutely, we're not going down without a fight. I mean, Coach Dean, he's a big guy too. He likes to eat.
He does.
He does it right. So I mean, I'll be on board with I'll get in Coach Dean's foxhole any day.
There you go. You guys do a great job. We appreciate all the hospitality for the media there in Georgetown. It's an amazing stadium and a great place, and we love going there and watching a football game. So
it's a good place.
Coach, I'll let you get back to coaching school, getting around, making the rounds. It's getting bigger and bigger every year, isn't it?
It is. It's great.
So, we'll let you get to it. Good luck in 2023,
you,
and we appreciate what you do for student athletes here in Texas.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
There is Chuck Griffin, head coach of the Georgetown Eagles. Joined us there at the THSCA Coaching School and Convention.
We just decided to have a little fun
in Houston
with the fade button.
let's just have like misfires. And
yeah.
stuff like that. Just run the RIP free money video again. Just at just random.
Yeah. Anytime
times.
you say something dumb, I'm just gonna cover up your face with the Dave Campbell's logo.
With the Dave Campbell's logo.
Be like, this is Dave telling you.
No,
shush.
Stop it. Anyway. We appreciate Chuck Griffin's time there at the THSCA Coaching School and Convention. Now let's go over to Ashley Pickle for America's second favorite segment, Final Thoughts, which I'm going to commandeer for a moment.
Okay.
Reminder, Thursday. Thursday there will be no TFT. We're not on the air at noon because we are seating the equipment. I could tell you we're seating the time slot, but we're not. We're seating the equipment over to the ROF people, the Republic of Football. I believe it's going to be Carter Yates, Mallory Hartley, and Corey Hogue live at the Lone Star Conference Media Day in beautiful McKinney, Texas. You can watch Media Day on Lone Star Conference, on the Lone Star Conference Network on their website, lonestarconference.org. I'm going to MC it. If you're interested in watching me talk to the head coach at Western New Mexico, I've got questions for him. Real fastballs, high and tight. It's going to be like, I'm a real hard-hitting capital J journalist. So tune in for that. But we will be going live 1:30 on Thursday for the Lone Star Conference Media Day. We're going to be having big-time guests from all the Lone Star Conference Texas schools. We're excited to do that. Now, here's Final Thoughts with Ashley Pickle.
I was just going to plug our YouTube page again. I know I did it yesterday, but there's even more content on it. Speaking of ROF, they were all out at the American Athletic Conference Media Days yesterday. I know we mentioned that earlier. They have a ton of interviews. Some of them, are comic gold.
Did you see the UTSA one?
I haven't finished watching it yet, but I got about halfway through it earlier.
So it's
so funny.
It's Frank Harris, Rashad Wisdom, and Jeff Traylor.
All on one interview.
And it is very good. Also, you should go and watch Carter Yates interviewing Braylon Braxton from Tulsa. Former where'd he go? Frisco Independence quarterback, Braylon Braxton. And
that's funny because Carter's from Frisco as well.
And just watch the microphone holding technique. It's just he's very like for me. I'm a what's the word I'm looking for? A spare. And so I'm just like, whatever, coach. Talking about this and the other. He's just like very professional. Like, very good. Thank you, Braxton. Braylon Braxton. Can't have two first names. Anyway, so go watch that. Go watch all the stuff on the YouTube page. A lot of good stuff on TexasFootball.com.
Yep.
That's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Thanks again to Chuck Griffin of Georgetown for being our guest. For Ashley Pickle, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please can be your Player of the Year trophy. It is over there.
On the floor.
We'll see you tomorrow for This Week in Recruiting on Texas Football Today.